No, I mean you still find a way to re-sign Fred Van
You're gonna
Vliet.
overpay for these 2 miniature guards?
Listen,
I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, NBA is getting tall, man. I'm not saying these guys can't play, but like
I want to know y'all thoughts on the Raptors season.
the defending champions. Alright, let me break it down to you, okay?
go ahead.
Last year,
Go ahead.
they could have pulled the trigger on the biggest move that could have happened,
Yep.
which was the trade for Paul George, Russell Westbrook, for Pascal Siakam, Fred Van Fleet, and 4 undrafted drafted picks, first round picks. And they said no. They were afraid that Kawhi was already going to leave. Even if Kawhi left, I still would have done it because at the end of the day, I still protected my team. I would have Paul George. I would have Westbrook. Yeah, we lost Van Fleet. We still got Lowry. We still got Anobi. We still got Siakam. Sorry, not Siakam. Marc Gasol, Ibaka, and the rest of the players that they added. Do you think we would have lost to Boston Celtics this year?
Never.
No. Hells no. Sometimes you got to take a move. And do you really think Kawhi would have left? I know for a fact Kawhi would be like, oh, you brought these guys here? I'll be stupid enough to go to Clippers to play with who? Exactly. Nobody was going to come with him. So sometimes you have to make those little gamble moves and see what it is. One thing that pissed me off about the Raptors is Nick Nurse actually could have beat the Celtics.
Oh, yeah?
I seen Ibaka on the bench with a towel. Be like, what's wrong with... Why am I not... Daniel Tice? Who is he? He would have taken him for barbecue chicken. He can shoot from the perimeter. He could body him in the post. And they had Anobi playing center. 6'7" against 6'11". Ibaka at least 6'9" or 6'10". He would have at least given him the problem, you know? Mafunzi Chef? You already know what it is, you know? Are you hungry?
The way I see it is
what-
this. They had a great regular season.
Yeah.
In the postseason, the first round was really
Brooklyn
a
Nets.
sweep, so you can't really dispute that. But Marc Gasol did not show up in the second round whatsoever.
Would he start if you were the coach?
Personally, I wouldn't.
It's a matchup game, right?
To me, I wouldn't have started Marc Gasol.
Fuck no.
He really hurt the team.
By far.
Serge Ibaka played well, but not well enough.
He never had the opportunity.
Kyle Lowry and Fred Van Vliet showed their height.
Their heart.
No, the heart was there because Cal really banged out, and so did Fred. But you could see when you got guards that are 6 feet and 6'1", 5'9", 6 foot or 6'1", you see the difference when you have 2 6'8" guards, 6'6" guards, right? You see the difference in height, and that hurt them. But overall, myself, I'm optimistic. I'm not gonna lie. Had they pulled the trade for Siakam and Paul George, Russell Westbrook, we would still be playing basketball right now.
Miami would have a little
to
problem.
me, that's just a reality because you would have kept Kawhi. You would have, now had Paul George,
And Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, and Kyle Lowry. I don't see how you make it fit, but you make it work.
Yeah.
Right? You make it work because you still got Kawhi, you still got PG. So I definitely understand that scenario. I respect Masai Ujiri as a GM, so he must know what he's doing. But it's unfortunate that we get to repeat overall, right? The Raptors did great, but not great enough because we no longer get champs.
Well, my question to you, do you really believe that he coached to his ability of the Coach of the Year award, or the fact that he was getting all this praise because he did like the Steve Kerr thing, right? He took over Mark Jackson's situation. He took over Dwayne Casey's situation.
Yeah.
And then he won. And it was a perfect system. He got Kawhi. It helped out because Kawhi something for DeRozan.
What really helps him with the Coach of the Year debate is the fact that he doesn't have a bona fide star, right? Pascal Siakam is still up and coming.
Isn't he all first team?
I mean, he made all NBA team this year. Yeah, I agree, but he's not a finished product.
That's a fact.
Right.
Playoff P.
So, and he as playoff or spicy P or whatnot.
I don't know what we saw
This year. Like he went missing, man.
My goodness.
There's still right now looking for Pascal Siakam right now because he really went missing in the playoffs. So it's a work in progress. They're in the East, so they'll continue to compete.
Okay.
But they're missing a puzzle. They're missing a piece of that puzzle, and that's a star, a bona fide
So
star.
who's the priority, Kyle Lowry or Van Fleet for this offseason?
I say you find a way to keep Kyle Lowry. He's
Oh,
still.
so Van Fleet, you let him go?
No, I mean you still find a way to re-sign Fred Van Vliet.
You're gonna overpay for these 2 miniature guards?
Listen,
I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, NBA is getting tall, man. I'm not saying these guys can't play, but like, who gotta go because it didn't work out. As you can see, they lost. They came back from 2-0, and they were supposed to win Game 7. Because if you do the math, they had a couple of turnovers and they lost by 5. Impossible that Boston should have won that series. And I knew you're a true Raptors fan. We the North. I seen you saying that shit, man. So explain to me, as a We the North fan, how you really believe that the Celtics, with that bum squad, with no Gordon Hayward, beat the Raptors, the defending champions. And Mafunzi Chef is on the bench.
so you have Jason Tatum.
That's the only nigga.
You
That's the
have
problem.
Jalen Brown.
Questionable.
Marcus Smart
He can't shoot threes.
did his thing,
He
right?
cannot shoot, man. Stop it.
So, do I justify the loss? No, but it happened. So you move forward
That's what it
and you
is.
continue to build.
How can they fix their squad? What would you think? What's the best way for the Raptors to?
I don't believe in the two point guard lineups when your point guard is
So
6
one of the
feet
miniature
and
guards
6
got to go. Which one goes? You said Lowry, so my apologies. I didn't understand. So Van Fleet got to go.
Probably gotta go, I guess.
Okay. All right. What about Marcus Gasol?
He gotta go too. He's
That's a
done.
fact.
Marcus Gasol should be gone.
Is Ibaka getting re-up? Starting center?
Yeah, you keep Marcus. You keep Serge Ibaka.
Okay.
Chris Boucher is up and coming. OG Anunoby's up and coming.
So re-sign Onobi.
So, yeah, you keep OG. OG after that 5/10 of a second shot.
What about Norman Powell?
As a reserve player?
Okay. He can't get starting minutes. He can't be DeRozan.
He's not a starter. He's not
No?
a starter. He's not a starter. NP's not a starter.
Well, since you guys are talking about fixing,
Yeah.
how do you fix the Houston Rockets and is Westbrook past his prime?
The Rockets? Let me break it down to you.
Well,
What the
yeah.
Rockets need to understand is that they maximize offensively. We know that they can score. The last 4 years, they've averaged over 110 points or more. Okay? That's a fact. Now, the problem with the Rockets is they don't have defense. And what they're also lacking is experience and championship leaders. To build chemistry, you need to have people that hold accountable James Harden and Russell Westbrook. They are MVPs in the past 4 or 5 seasons. But there's nobody actually checking them on what do they do wrong and like why you playing bad and why you only get it past the second round. No, why you always get eliminated the second round. Since they've been together with Kevin Durant, they were together for maybe 3, 4, 5 years. They only went to the finals once.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the GM the owner, whoever allowed that foul move for $4 million
$4 million total.
to let James Harden go to Houston so he can get Steven Adams, because that was the only good thing that came out of that trade. Everybody else is garbage. Steven Adams is good, but like Steven Adams is not James Harden or Russell Westbrook or Kevin Durant altogether in their prime.
I'll give you that.
Okay? So that happened, okay? James Harden, he did his thing with Dwight Howard. You know where he is now. He's going to catch a ring on LeBron's back. That's another story for another day. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is for the Houston, they need a coach that's going to hold them accountable. What I think is they need a defensive-minded coach. There's some 3 options I would like to say. I would say Lionel Hollins. I would say Dwayne Casey. And I would give a chance to Jeff Van Gundy. Just because for the sack, it's like they're going to tell these people what time it is, how to do your job, and they're going to keep them in line.
So you would bring back Jeff to Houston?
Yeah. Because Jeff did his good job with T-Mac, but he never had like a healthy second player. Russell Westbrook is never. I don't think he's health injury prone, because I remember the injury that Patrick Beverly gave him in 2013.
The meniscus.
Where he hit the knee, the meniscus.
Yeah.
He even got better, and he became an MVP. So when you get that injury, usually you digress.
Right.
But he actually got better. So Westbrook is a different breed.
Now, I agree they need a culture change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would go with... I mean, Dwayne Casey's under contract with Detroit.
No, I'm saying whatever defensive-minded coach you can get, you know? Mm-hmm.
So, to me, I think...
sorry.
Once again...
Greg Popovich, I forgot about him.
I mean, Greg Popovich is also still under contract. I would consider Mark Jackson, like, this blackball situation. I've mentioned it many times before, and I'm not going to stop until he gets a job in the NBA. He deserves to be a head coach. So, Mark Jackson, to me, is a good candidate for the job, because he would go ahead and change the culture. People forget that he's the one that created the Golden State movement. The whole 3-point ball movement. no pick and roll, ball action and player action. He did that. So to me, you bring out Mark Jackson from this analyst position that he's in, you bring him back to the sidelines, he can go ahead and fix your team. James Harden has improved a lot as a passer, as a defender. He's still a leading scorer in the league. He needs to go ahead and elevate his game to the next level as a superstar, as an MVP. You should not be okay with not even making it to your conference finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've never been to the Western Conference Finals as a franchise player, as an MVP. Come on. Same with Russ. Since KD left, Russ had no success. So, like, you got to go ahead and fix it. Now, your second question was, is he past his prime? No. He just hasn't been able to adapt to the new NBA. Right? It's no longer okay to just settle for the two-point shot when systems are being built around the three. Right? So, I don't know what he needs to do is fix his shot, fix his free throw. His decision-making is still very questionable under pressure, especially in the playoffs. So, Houston has a lot of work. The first good step was getting rid of Mike D'Antoni, and that's done. So I hope they're happy with that. But they need to find a strong and a good head coach to go ahead and lead two strong personalities in James Harden and then Russell Westbrook. That's what I think personally.
I'm sorry, I feel like Mike D'Antoni is getting like the bad rep. Like if Mike D'Antoni never came there, they would have never scored those points. Their system was basic under what's this guy? Kevin McHale? Yeah. Garbage, man.
Yeah.
Like, it was ugly to watch.
So here's what I'm saying. Like here's my thing. As a head coach, if you've never been able to overcome and adjust, then your resume becomes questionable. Mike D'Antoni has a great offensive system, but when it comes to the playoffs, he hasn't made the required adjustments to go ahead and get past the second round.
Did Mike D'Antoni accept Daryl Morey's request to trade Clint Capella? I don't know, no, because it's the GM that makes the moves. Like, you work under a person that runs the GM and you do the coaching. Yeah. So I give you the players, this is what it is. So I really believe that Daryl Morey should be under the scrutiny just as much as Mike D'Antoni because he's like, we're going to do small ball.
Yeah,
and he's like, we're gonna be Golden State in a better version, right? Kevin Durant's no longer there, and they get rid of Clint Capella. Why? Because they
small ball
PJ Tucker against Anthony Davis. Yeah. We all saw when that trade happened. The Lakers, congratulations, you have an easier road now to go to the finals. They just gave away that guy.
I agree.
No, I'm telling you.
I mean, they have a lot of work. I'm just looking forward to the progression.
Since we're talking about Lakers and championships and finals, does Giannis need to leave the Bucks to win a championship?
He has to, because think about it. Giannis has been on the team for 7 years, okay? And this man has accomplished stuff that like legends have done. A season MVP and a defensive player in the same year. Michael Jordan is part of that class. You know who Michael Jordan is? Michael Jeffrey Jordan? Come on. New York, born in New York, but Charlotte is his hometown. Biblical stuff. We're talking about stuff that LeBron will never have a defensive player of the year. LeBron will always have the MVPs in the seasons, but let me tell you why Giannis got to leave. Yeah. First of all, if you're the best player in the game, they'll call you MVP. And then you talk about defensive player of the year, so you're the defense. So you're the offense and the defense. So outside of you and Middleton, you ain't got nothing. You're maximized to your full potential. You're 25 years old. You're burnt out. In Milwaukee, you've seen what you can go. You had number one.
So, here's my thing.
Go ahead.
2-time MVP.
Yes.
Right?
Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. Mm-hmm. Yet, all it takes is for teams to go ahead and either wall up or play a strong zone defense for you to go ahead and lose all your potency as an offensive player. Okay. So to me, my issue is this, Giannis, you're an MVP. Mm-hmm. You don't need to leave Milwaukee.
Why?
Hear me out. Because they gave you complementary pieces.
Who?
Hear me
Besides
out.
Middleton.
Hear me out. Wow. You have a Robin. If you're a Batman, you have a Robin.
Middleton.
Hear me out. You have a Robin, right? They gave you a center. They gave you shooters, right?
Who's the shooters?
What do you mean, who's the shooters?
I would like to know, please.
Kyle Korver's a shooter.
He's finished. He's
Chris
39 years old.
Middleton's a shooter.
That's a Robin. That's the Robin.
That's a Robin, but he's also a shooter.
That's what I'm saying.
He plays two roles.
Outside of those
Hear
two
me out.
players,
Hear me out, though. So, what's the one thing that we haven't been able to see out of Giannis? The post game, the mid range, and the free throw shooting. So here's the thing: it's not hard for a defense to wall up if all they need to do is protect you from within 3 feet and 7 feet of the basket, right? You have a spin move and then you have a dunk, but you can't do it if there's 3 players around you. Develop a jump shot, a mid-range game. Kawhi Leonard did it, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Not only that, but free throw shooting. You end up getting fouled. You go to the free throw line 10 to 14 times a game. You don't hit more than 6 to 7 free throws, 8 free throws. That's not good enough if you're the MVP, right? If you had taken LeBron James and you had put LeBron James on the Milwaukee Bucks right now, they would be playing basketball today. That's a reality. That's your 2-time MVP. So that's what I'm saying. No, you don't need to leave Milwaukee. What you need to do is go ahead and expend your offensive game so you can be stopped, because once you're stopped, the whole system crumbles.
Let me interject, okay? Let me tell you why you're wrong.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I get as part of your theory, but let me
A lot
break
of
it
it.
down. No,
A lot of
let
it,
me
because
break
it's
it down
right.
to you. Let me ask you a question.
Mm.
When you win a championship, is it one player or it's a duel or a squad? Let's look at the championship.
It's a whole team.
It's a whole team.
But do we-
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's break it down
Go
to
ahead.
we already know that there's only 2 All-Stars on that team.
That's enough.
No. But like the center you mentioned, Brook Lopez.
They had the Lopez brothers. Brook Lopez had a bit of a down year, right? Had a bit of a down year.
Come on.
But at the end of the day, he was still there. You know who the real problem is? Eric Bledsoe.
More than just that.
Nah, man.
George Hill.
Yo, you have no point guard.
George Hill.
It's a point guard league.
George Hill's the backup.
Come on.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
your backup, but your starting point guard can't do a squad
Usually,
thing for you in the
let me
playoffs.
break it down to you. Why Giannis needs to understand what he needs to do? Look at your history, okay?
Nah,
Let me
man.
break-
LeBron James did a lot more
Look
with
at your
less.
history, okay? LeBron James, 7 years in Cleveland Cavaliers. If you can't beat the Celtics, you're gonna join a fire squad. You already know where they are. But now let's revisit history. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players to come out of Washington County. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and what did he do?
You
You can't beat them, you join them. This is the new wave.
That's the West.
I don't
We're talking about the
care.
Eastern
Yo, listen.
Conference.
Stop perpetrating. This is the way it is in social media era, okay?
Go ahead.
If you can't beat them, you join them. So the team that just whooped you is already solidified, and you see what the
So you're saying Giannis needs to leave? He needs
to go to
Where should he
MIA.
go?
You already know. Miami Heat beat Pat Riley.
Wow.
Got 5 rings with the Lakers, 3 rings with Miami, and part of those 2 rings was LeBron James. So if you're trying to tell me you want your legacy to be, what did he say? Don't call me a 2-time MVP, two-time champion. You ain't gonna win shit in Milwaukee.
So
Let me break it down to you. No, stop it. Mike Budenholzer, the alcoholic that got away with his DUI shit. Yeah, facts. Yeah, he was Atlanta coach. He got a DUI. It's all good. White privilege. It's part of life. I'm not lying. You can check the records. Ain't no cap in that. So no. Let me finish. If you want to win, Pat Riley is the guy that has the championship culture. You got Jimmy Butler. They're going to go to the finals without Giannis. They might lose to the Lakers. It's okay. But it's going to be like a KD story. All they just need was Giannis. Giannis, he going to be like, you know what? I understand what KD meant by that. I'm a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year award, and that's what it is. Straight facts. Let's get it.
Is Doc Rivers overrated as a coach?
By far. Let me break it down to why Doc Rivers is overrated, okay? In the last 12 years, all right, Doc Rivers has only been to 2 NBA Finals appearances. He won 1 out of 2. And we're talking about this guy's a great coach. And also on top of that, he's blown 3-1 leads, okay? In the last 5 years, okay? I'm not even going to talk about the one in 03 because it was T-Mac by himself against the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens.
First of all, I was surprised they were up 3-1. So right there, that's Coach of the Year award. Congratulations. And you're a young coach. You never really know what you're doing, okay? But 3-1 against the Houston Rockets. You had Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, and Blake Griffin. I think Jamal Crawford was off the bench as facts. So I'm going to bring it back to even what happened recently. Denver Nuggets. You had Kawhi Leonard. Way better players than what I just mentioned before, okay? Paul George. Jesus, all right? You had Lou Williams is basically Jamal Crawford, what I just mentioned right there, you know what I mean? And you had Doc Rivers. So basically you had way better players, you had a better system, and you was up 3-1. And on top of that, what's even embarrassing, you had 19-point leads. You had 16-point leads. 12-point leads, all right? These are Game 5, Game 6, Game 7. When you're up 3-1 and you lose to the Denver Nuggets, yeah, I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of basketball in my life, but I've never seen a choke like this. And it hurts because I feel for Kawhi. Kawhi's a real one. He put on for the city of T-Dot and Men's and them. You know what I mean? He gave them the ring. So now he's out. And the Raptors are out. And it's like they had a perfect fucking situation and they could have done something. But, yeah, Doc Rivers. At the end of the day, I'm saying Doc Rivers. I think he's like the Marvin Lewis of Cincinnati Bengals. Marvin Lewis, if you didn't do your history from 2002 to what was that? 2019. He was a coach. He never won a playoff series. We're talking about wild cards after wild cards. I mean, and never won. But he still was like employed for 16 years. That's what I feel Doc Rivers is. I hate to see another black man not shine, but I'm gonna have to give credit where credit due. He took everybody's opportunity. I don't know what it is, if it's NBA politics, but I'm not being stuck.
So here's the thing. I think you're being a bit harsh because he is a championship head coach.
One time in the last 12 years.
He has a ring.
That's fine.
Head coach, right? So you have to respect him as a head coach right there with his pedigree. He is one of the better coaches, but he has a bad. He has a bad thing where he doesn't adjust during games. I don't know what it is because he's blown many 3-1 leads. 03, 2015, 2020, most. And the 2021 is the one that's the toughest one because everyone expected the Clippers to win. Right? So you had that pressure. You had to come through. Right? You were a better team on paper at least. Right? And not only that, but you've also blown at least 2 to 3 3-2 leads. That's where it's tough with Doc Rivers is what's going on. You've been eliminated a lot of times where you weren't supposed to. So my thing is this, is he overrated? No, because he has a ring.
In the last 12 years though. Like why is he still coaching? Like, let's be respectful, okay? The coaches that are getting fired. They make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They might make it to the West Coast. But, like, Doc Rivers has never been in the Western Conference Finals. Like, ever since he left the East and when they did that trade in 2013, he's never accomplished what he's done in the East. Why is he still employed? I want to know this. Like, I'm not trying to hate on another black man. But give me the reason why he's still employed.
He did kind of help turn around the Clippers.
Okay.
Right.
4 years, right?
He did bring them back to relevancy. He also was able to help overcome the
Donald Sterling thing. Yeah,
the Donald Sterling situation because that was a pretty big situation too, right?
Yeah.
So definitely Doc Rivers has a resume where he's been there and he's been valued, right? But once again, he's had a hard time adjusting in games, in the playoffs, in crucial moments. And that's always going to be on his resume. Always.
The problem with Doc Rivers is he's too friendly. I feel he's a player's coach.
He is a player's coach.
And that's where he's going to make the mistake, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's like, as a coach, you should be able to call your best player out and say, like, yo, you're playing like a bitch tonight. I know your potential. Step that shit up. But I don't think Doc Rivers says that to his players. Just like, oh, the energy. What? Energy? You was up by 19. What energy do you need for the last 14 minutes of the game to win? No, sorry. I'm sorry. And then in 16 game point lead. What? Like, if you already took an L from that one, that should be like a mistake. All right, I'm going to learn from my mistake. We was up by 19. We lost this game. Happens.
Yep.
Are we going to do it again? No. I wouldn't do that if I was playing a sport. I'd be like, what? I'll be reminded. I would put the videotape at halftime. Do you want this shit to happen? See when you guys messed up here? Boom, boom, boom. But I don't think he does that. He's like, oh, your energy's not good. You gotta bring it back. Stop that, man. Like, no, for real. Like, stop catering to these little babies. They're grown-ass men making a lot of money, just like you. And then you know what the worst is? His legacy, like, if he gets fired, he's not coming back. I see Mark Jackson. Mar Jackson's a great analyst, but he's been on the sidelines too long. The way Tom Thibodeau be getting jobs, and I'm sorry, Tom Thibodeau, what has he done since Derrick Rose?
Yeah. Blew out a knee.
Nothing. Nothing. What? Yo, Minnesota made it to the playoffs. They lost. I'm sorry, they lost 4 games. They won 1.
Absolutely.
So it's like you fought to the end just to get like a quick exit.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 Cancun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, stop this. This
No, I hear
is
you.
what I'm talking
It's
about.
tough. He's not overrated, but he definitely has a lot to prove.
Doc Rivers overrated.
He's on
Okay,
the hot seat.
stop it. In 12 years, you only went to 2 finals. You never even been to the Western Conference Finals, and their coaches are getting fired after making just to the East. Yo, what's his name? Billy Donovan, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Got released.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I'm not hating on him. He won in college, Florida. All right.
He did.
I'm not saying he's a great coach, but give him the same opportunities. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
They were not even supposed to make the playoffs this year, and they did. And they took the Houston Rockets to 7.
They did.
Come on, that's embarrassing. And then he gets like, you won't renew your contract. Come on, the NBA don't know what they're doing. Man.
I hear you.
Doc Rivers overhyped,
I hear you.
like Baker Mayfield, and that's what you heard. Straight facts.
For Reg, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Currency TV, and follow them on IG, Currency ENT. And I'm not a Raptors fan, so I don't know why this is here.